Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Monday night slash Tuesday morning Zoom edition, depending on where you are in the world. And we've had a nice bump up in the market today. Bitcoin broke 57K and hopefully is charging mercilessly towards 60, which has been resistance lately when it used to be support. So that's good news. I went through the news on Twitter. I didn't really see anything in particular. Didn't really have time to check the markets overall. My friend Craig usually does that for me, but he's not with us today. Anyway, I know we have some CPI numbers coming out later this month, and as well as a potential interest rate reduction, which would pump the market somewhat if that's not priced in already. But for now, we'll just stick to crypto, and I will show you my Bitcoin chart. We'll get started. Sharing my screen, and let's go over to Bitcoin. That was my 15-minute chart I was looking at a little while ago. And let me bump that up to my day chart. Oh no, that's a different layout. That's what I want. There's my day chart. Okay, so we've had three green candles and the day just ended in the US. So we've got three candles straight, though it's printing a little red now. It just dipped below 57. So it wouldn't surprise me if we had a little pullback on our way back to 60. And again, this Fibonacci held up nicely. I think I talked about this may have happened on Friday. Yeah. Um, Friday in the US, Saturday for me here in Thailand. And the 618 held up as a support on the Fibonacci retracement on the day chart. So this is touch down here, almost a touch back here in July, a break briefly in August, another touchdown in September, and Bitcoin's bounced off that three times. So this area here around 53 to say 53.8 can be a good place to get in on a Bitcoin dip for say a swing trade. I didn't take this trade, but I took the two prior and did okay on swing trades. So all right, so that's Bitcoin. And I'll take a quick look at Ethereum. And that 2500 area that was support for so long might be acting as resistance now because we've not broken back up above it since we broke down earlier this month. So yeah, Ethereum has been kind of lagging. And one would think with the ETFs, we would have more more movement in the markets. They've mostly been withdrawals out of that fund with weak hands, but we know better. Uh, we have diamond hands on this channel. We're gonna hang on, survive the dip, and catch the glorious pump that's pending. So, all right. Any questions about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the markets overall? Okay, let me look at the chat. And okay, Paul's checking in, letting me know that the food is better in Thailand. So yeah, I really enjoyed that too. But he can't join us. He's asking about Brett and Arrow. So I do ask for coins later in the Zoom call. So I will get to those unless they show up on some of the sorts we're going to do. But if they don't, remind me, and we'll look at those towards the end of the Zoom call. All right, let's get back to the share, and we'll look at Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some day trades and short-term swing trades. So, Altcoin Alert, I have the altcoin radar setting. Easy mode is off, and I'm going to reload, get the most current information, and the first sort I usually do is by AA score. So I'll do that now. I'm looking for values 80 and higher. I'm also looking for coins I know have pretty good value and pretty good movement. So this is where some experience comes in. I'm gonna ignore these first three, even though they're the highest, because either they're on exchanges I don't trade on. Jasmy is something I've been trading on for the last probably couple months. Been doing pretty well with that. And Phantom has made an appearance. It's just in at 80.2. And then I will look in the high 70s as well. See if there's something else that interests me. Synthetics maybe. And when there's something I know I can trade, I'll click on the star so it shows up better in my sorts. But for now, we'll go ahead and we'll look at Jasmy. We have looked at this one quite a bit, but not in the last couple of weeks. So we'll check it out. And so I'm going to go to my day trading sort or layout, and this is the 15-minute chart. I need to get over on my list to Jasmy. And we've got the red and the green zone that should come up in a moment. This is the supply and demand visible range indicator by Lux Algo. Again, it shows me support and resistance. The red area is resistance, green area is support. And when something's coming out of the green area, that's something I'm interested in. And I'm also looking to see how the RTI is doing. The relative trend index is my favorite indicator to use to put alerts on. And I'll show you that in a moment. And the cumulative delta indicator, which I use as confirmation for some trend-based trading. Now, if this is all overwhelming to you, you can put together layouts on TradingView using this button here and create a new layout. Or you could email me at cryptocj13@gmail.com or reach out on Slack, and I can just send you a copy of this layout. It'll give you a copy, and then you can save that as your own layout if you want. You can even modify it if you want. All right, so that's a quick review over the layout. We'll look at a different one for swing trading in a moment. For now, I'm going to go over to I'm going to show you past instances where the RTI worked really well. Bring up my vertical line. So here's an example where it broke below the 20 and broke back up above the 20. And this is one of my favorite trades. So when that happens, it went up 2.5%, which is a good day trade. As an experienced day trader, I'm trading on leverage on a foreign exchange using 10x leverage. I'm looking for 1 to 1.5% movement on the chart. And that's good enough for me for my day trading or even scalping. If you're a spot trader, you might want to look for bigger moves, 3 to 5%. And in that scenario, the red zone here would have been 6.3%. And we hit that right here after about 1 day of being in the trade. So that would have been a really good day trade had you stayed in that one and taken that one on Sunday. Sunday for me, probably Saturday for you. But we don't have that situation at the moment. We have the opposite situation where Jasmy is broken above the 80 and is now dipping. So for those of you who are trading on leverage, you can take a short on this one if you are so inclined, not financial advice. But as you can see, we are dipping on the RTI, broke below the 80. So I might take that trade. Well, I'm already in a short from yesterday, so I probably won't. All right, so that would be the way to incorporate the RTI into how you're trading. If you want to set alerts, which is what I usually do, right-click on the RTI. And if you're trading spot, you're going to want to cross up on the 20. Once per bar close, if you want to leave the alert on all day, you will have to turn it off manually. It'll keep going off in the middle of the night, depending on how you have your trading view set up. Alert name, I usually call it where my information source is. So that's an AA score purchase. Notifications, notify on my app on my smartphone. Show toast notification, which is a quick little pop up on the computer screen here on my laptop. Play a sound also on my laptop. And there's a few to choose from. I usually use Chirpy or 3 notes reverb or handbell, depending on what alert I'm setting. So I'll go ahead and set that one. And so if that dips below the 20, comes back up, I'll be ready to get in a long position. I mean, I'll look at the market overall. I'll look at the chart, and I usually look at Bitcoin as well. Actually, we'll bring Bitcoin back up on this other chart, this other layout, and go to the 15-minute. And I'm going to look at this to see what Bitcoin's doing, which has been dipping. You know, we hit 58 briefly, and then from there down, yeah, over 2%. So that's a pretty big move for Bitcoin. So it might be trending back down. Keep that in mind if you want to do a spot trade, because that could go against you if Bitcoin continues to drop. Okay, so one other alert option, right click on the RTI. If you want to trade both directions, which is what I usually do, I'm going to enter a channel, and my channel is going to be 80 on top, 20 on the bottom, once per bar close, AA score. Once you type something in the alert name a few times, TradingView will remember it like a database, and the rest will be the same. Click create, and you're good to go. Okay, any questions on Jasmy? It's a day trade. Okay, we'll look at this as a swing. I'll go to my other layout. This will take a moment to load. I'm using the same indicator for support and resistance, supply and demand visible range. Again, if you want to add indicators or look at a few, you can click on the indicator button here on TradingView, and you can click on favorites. If you search support and resistance, there's a bunch of different indicators for that. This one's called supply and demand, probably to set it apart from the others. You can see I've got that one starred, and then it comes up again like a database. You start to enter the letters, and it tries to find it for you. Okay, so this one's now loaded. I'm on the 1-hour chart, and you'll see buy and sell signals. These are from the supertrend indicator, which by itself is kind of mediocre, but it's alert friendly. I'm going to match that up with the Trendio LSMA, which is a moving average indicator, and then look at my support and resistance. So when all three of these come into play, then that's something I'm interested in. So in this situation, I'd probably want to short this when it comes down a little bit more and prints a sell signal. If you're trading spot, you're going to want a buy signal. So that's easy to set. Right click on the super trend. And you can leave it as direction change if you want to trade both directions. For spot, you're going to choose buy. I just leave it on for only once. Again, that's going to be an AA score purchase. And the rest is the same, though I'm going to change my sound to handbell to give me, that'll be my swing. That'll let me know if I'm doing some other work that this is a swing trade alert. Click create. And so when this dips down again, this curves back down, maybe I get in around here, this mid area, hypothetically. And then I'd have about a 5% move back to the resistance. I'm not sure if that's a trade I would take. I would probably want it to dip down even further, down to the green zone. Again, from the green zone, from the top of the green zone to the bottom of the red, it's 9%. It's not bad. I'm usually looking for 10% or more on my swing trades. And another thing you can do if you want to hold longer, I mean, obviously this is resistance on the hour chart because this is where it topped out earlier this month. But you can choose longer time frames to get longer retracements. See, when I switch to the 4-hour chart, I've got a retracement from late August going back all the way to 2.4 cents for this coin. So if I were to get in now and hold till the bottom of the red zone there, that'd be 17%. That would be a really good swing trade. Not sure how long it would take. Could take a few days, few weeks, even a couple months. In this scenario, it took 16 days. So keep that in mind when you're looking at longer time frames. Obviously, you can go 8-hour. It's about the same. Well, no, actually, it's up to 3 cents on the 8-hour going back to late July on the day chart. Above 4 cents in early June. So if you're a real cowboy or more of a hodler, actually, you got almost 100% to the red zone in June, but it takes 88 days. So way longer than I want to hold anything other than just the ones I hold in, like in Exodus or a Trezor or something like that. But I digress. Let's get back to the hour chart. Any questions on Jasmy as a swing trade? Okay, I went through those in some detail because I think I have a couple new folks with me. So I'm gonna go a little faster through the other sorts that we do on both Altcoin Alert and then a little later iCoinPro. So let's see what else we have on Altcoin Alert. That was an AA score sort. Another one I like is social activity. Get a little more variety with this one. Got Rocket Pool with flames on both social activity and trading activity. That's the matchup I like to look at. Civic. It's been a while since I traded that one. Quant as well. That one was stuck at $100 for forever a few months ago. ENJ has both a flame and a thumbs up. I'm yawning because it's early morning here. And going down, Phantom, Sushi. Phantom I like. I trade that quite a bit. So, I haven't looked at Rocket. Let's look at Rocket Pool as a swing day trade. I think that's on Coinbase. It is. So we'll look at this as a spot trade on Coinbase. Looks like it made a big jump in the wee hours of the morning yesterday, or earlier today, excuse me. And our break above the 20 occurred here. So this would have gotten me out, in my day trading somewhere around here, a couple percent in a few hours. If you held longer, you could have gotten as much as 40%. Had you anticipated this move? So you're either a genius or you're lucky if you do that. But obviously that's a great entry on this chart. So we're looking for another dip like that. It pumped and went sideways. So how you do that, how to catch the next dip, right click on the RTI, add an alert, crossing up on the 20. Once per bar close, and this is a social activity sort. And I'm gonna put this one on alarm clock. So when this one goes off, if it does today, I'll be ready. I'll probably do this trade on Coinbase. Treat it like a day trade or a short-term swing. So that's how you do that on Rocket Pool. Any questions on this? Okay, if you want to hold it a little longer, let's go to the swing chart. And supertrend did a pretty good job on this one. We got in down here around $9. And this alert went off. We got confirmation on the Trendio LSMA a little later. So this entry would have been probably right around here. And I probably would have gotten out in this area, or this area here where I see resistance around 13%. That's a really good swing trade. And then you've got more resistance here at right around 20%. Now this would have looked like this at the time you took the trade. So this red zone is going to come down, and it would have been around 1150. So you get in here, and if you go to the red zone, yeah, 20%. So, but obviously it spiked beyond that, so that reset the red zone. That's the thing when you're back testing like this. When it comes to this particular indicator, support and resistance, you have to go back to where you would have gotten in, so that can readjust. Okay, alert on this is really easy. Right click on the super trend. And we're gonna, did I do this already? No, I did it on the last one. So yeah, click a buy and leave it on for just once. This was social activity sort again. And notifications, go with handbell. Click create. Look at my alerts over here. Okay. I did this on the day trading setup. That's why I was thinking it's so familiar. So I could trade Rocket Pool as a swing or as a day trade. We'll see how that goes. Any questions on Rocket Pool? Okay, we'll do one more sort on Altcoin Alert and head over to iCoinPro. So we've done a AA score, social activity sort. Another one I like is the long-term sentiment. I'm going to match this up with the Elder Impulse, which is a technical indicator. So I've got sentiment, what people are talking about online, and the technicals with the Elder Impulse. And good things happen when we match those up. Phantom is showing up again. ApeCoin, Quant. We'll get some overlap with these. Pull starter. That is Decred. Neo, Monero, Reef, Aave. Up 10% today. RSR. So quite a few on this sort. Let's look at.
Did they ever fix that program bug?
Program bug on FTM or something else?
On Altcoin Alert.
Oh, I think you mean the AA score sort. They were talking
Yeah,
about.
they were.
Yeah, they were talking about how there was, the same coins were coming up with some frequency. It was getting different AA score values, so it didn't alarm me, but Brendan seemed concerned about it last week or the week before. But to my knowledge, I don't know if that's been done not or not. That really, in my mind, only affected the AA scores. So these other sorts that I'm doing might be better options until we get confirmation that's been resolved. Okay, I was wanted to look at. Let's look at. I was thinking Phantom, but we look at that one a lot. RSR, we could look at that one. That's still on my list. Yes. Day trade layout. My apologies for the screen. It's a little slow. The internet's not quite as good here on my laptop at an Airbnb in Thailand than it was in the US on my desktop computer. But we've made do so far. So, all right, RSR, 15-minute chart. Looks like we're coming out of the red zone. This could be a good one to short. Just dipped below the 80 on the RTI. This looks like the others we've looked at today. So ideally, we'd have another dip down to the green zone in the recovery. This one hasn't dipped below the 20 since over here on Friday, but it made a really nice move when it came back up, which occurred, looks like right about here. And then, yeah, a couple percent there pretty quickly, 4%, 7%. And then the red zone is up here at 12%, though it may not have been there at the time we were evaluating this. Yeah, the red zone would have been about 5 cents. So had you stayed in that long, 9%, that's a great day trade. So yeah, that would have worked out pretty well. And then if you're ever messing around with charts like this, you want to get it to go back, right click anywhere on the chart that's not an indicator and select reset chart view, and it'll take you back to the most current version of the chart. All right, so the red zone would have been around 5 cents back when this broke above the 20. But we don't have that now. We're dipping below the 80. And so you would set your alert on the RTI, right click, add an alert. I'll show this one more time. We probably won't show it anymore today. You can cross up on the 20 if you're trading spot. If you're trading both directions, you're going to enter a channel. That's going to be 80 and 20. Once per bar close, probably, and you know the rest. Okay, any questions on RSR? All right, let's look at the swing trade option on the hour chart. And this looks like the last couple we've looked at. So if you want to catch the next cycle, right click on the buy, add the alert on supertrend, and just click on the buy signal. And then either put it on once per bar or leave it on only once, call it what you want. And then the rest will be however you choose. So that's how you do the alert there. It's a practical matter. It would probably, hypothetically, it would come down to here and then curve back up, might come all the way down to the green zone. So let's say it comes down halfway point and going back, retracing to the red, looks good, 10%. So I like this potentially, but it may not, this signal may not go off till tomorrow or the next day. So keep that in mind. And yeah, choose your buy and you're good to go. On a longer time frame, the 4-hour chart, yeah, resistance is going to be here around closer to 6.5 cents, between 6 and 6.5. So if you got in now, you try to get back up there, that's 16% in 17 days, not bad. But I'm not sure if I want to wait that long. So yeah, I think the better option, at least for a shorter term mindset, would be to click that buy signal, wait for it to go through the sell, and then catch the next buy. Any questions on RSR? Okay. We had a question in the chat. I think we wanted to look at some different. Yeah, Brett and Arrow. We'll look at those in Altcoin Alert. I haven't looked for at a specific coin in Altcoin Alert in quite a while. Hope I remember how to do it. Brett and Arrow. Brett and Arrow. Okay. Hmm. I don't remember how to sort this in the for a specific coin. There's a way to do it, but exchange lookup. That might be it. Yeah, so if you want to figure out where you can trade something, you can use this, and that'll help you with that. I think it's Arrow token, and it's probably gathering information from CoinGecko or something like that, which is where usually I go. Just use that site. Okay, this isn't working out that well, guys. So I think what I'm going to do is just look at this on the chart, evaluate it like a, we'll go the swing trade option because I think that's how most of you would trade this. And Arrow, I believe, is on Coinbase. Yes. So we'll take a quick look on the swing chart option. And we had a buy signal. Then it has been coming back down. So this is like the last one we just looked at. If you want to catch the next buy signal, right click on the super trend. And we've gone through this a couple times already. Choose the buy, and you know the rest. Hypothetically, it would probably come down to this midway point and circle back up. So maybe you get in around here. And then back to the red zone is going to be about 5% on Brett or Arrow. On Brett, okay, that is on Kraken. It's a futures contract. It usually means they have a spot trade as well. It's on quite a few exchanges, most of them foreign. Click on Kraken. So this is the futures contract. So this is a leverage option that they have, but the chart's convenient, so I'll look at it. It's currently in the red zone. Don't like that for a long. If you want to short it on this contract, got 10% down to the green zone. That's pretty good swing trade on the short side. On the long side, you're going to right click on this and just catch the next buy. Probably going to be around here somewhere. If it retraces, and then you'd have the beginning of the red zone here, actual, more instances of resistance here, around 9% in 7 days. That's a pretty good swing trade. Okay, any questions on Brett or Arrow? Check my Zoom. No wonder I couldn't find it. Okay, so Paul was looking for it on he was looking for it on Altcoin itself, Altcoin Alert. Just for the sake of expediency, I'm used to doing that on CoinGecko.com. So we can take a look at that. Quick look at CoinGecko. So I'm bringing that site up. You just go to the search. And type it in. It should bring it up, all the options. There's a lot of these with arrow in it, so maybe it's this one. Aerodrome Finance, 55 cents. And let's see, where do you find it? A little rusty at this. Markets, news, similar coins, portfolio, exchanges. Yeah, it's around here somewhere. Crypto exchanges. Maybe click on that first and then click it on, but I don't want to take any more time with this, so go ahead and bail on that. And yeah, we're about 40 minutes in, and we're just now getting to iCoinPro. That's okay. Any questions on Altcoin Alert overall before we head over here? Okay. iCoinPro, home of the 123 dip. And if you're on this call, you've probably received my email with a link to their 123 dip training. That's how I first learned day trading, a version of that. And then I've taken that concept and put it in the 15-minute RTI training that we've looked at earlier today. But it's based on what I learned from iCoinPro. So it has a couple tools that I like to use, the Buddy Coin Crawler and the RSI Spy, to help me find coins to make as day trades and short-term swings. So I'm going to click on RSI Spy. And the first sort I usually do is a 1 hour RSI. And that's, I currently flip sorted it. It takes a moment for it to rearrange things. So this sort is the 1 hour chart on the RSI, which is the relative strength index, similar to the RTI, actually quite a bit more popular than the RTI. RTI is a little more obscure, but I like it. But for the purposes of this sort, we're going to use the RSI. And looking for values 30 and below. Those are usually coins that have been beaten down and due for a recovery, but we don't have any of those at the moment. These are all Bitcoin pairs, which unfortunately I can't exclude on this sort. So I usually scroll down a little bit and I look for the USDT pairs. Gala is a coin I like to trade, but it's up to 42. I will fudge a little to go in the low 40s sometimes on this sort. The rest of them that I know, like Cardano, Dash, are getting close to 50%, which isn't very useful. So we'll go ahead and we will look at Gala. That one should be on my list. Let's get back to the RTI. And Gala. There we go. Okay, so we do have a dip below the 20. Has not come back up yet. This is really more the kind of setup we're looking for. The last time this broke below the 20 was here. As you can see, that made a nice rip. 4%, which would have been right here at this area of resistance. And then if you want to hold on to the current area of resistance, if you get in, you get 6% trade. So that's good stuff. So that's the kind of thing I'd be looking for if I got in this trade when it breaks back above 20. Either this mid area for resistance, which, yeah, it's going to be that, well, actually a 2% trade, and then the red zone here up closer to 4%. So those are all acceptable take profits in my mind. And again, that alert on the RTI, add alert. crossing up on the 20. You can either leave it once or once per bar close, and you know the rest. So this one's looking good. This one should break above the 20 pretty soon. Or maybe it'll just keep going down and not break above the 20 till later in the day or tomorrow. So that's how these things work on technical trading. On the 1 hour super trend approach, it's currently in a sell. So this one's easy. Right click on here, catch the next buy. And you're good to go. So Gala will probably catch a buy around here somewhere, assuming it does in this middle area. Back to the red zone would be around 5 or 6%. Might want to consider a longer time frame. When it goes back to a little over 2 cents, that would be about 17% profit, but it's going to take you a while. Yeah, maybe that many days. Okay, any questions on Gala as either a day trade or a swing? Okay, that was an RSI SPY. Let's look at the Buddy Coin Crawler. And on this one, it just tells me what's moving that day. Doesn't tell me which direction. I'm usually looking around 4% or higher, and I don't have that, except for on this dogs token. It's got some pretty good volume. I think this is a meme coin. Let's look at it. What the hey? Dogs. And Paul, a lot of times where I look for the easier way than even CoinGecko is just to type in the name of a coin on TradingView, and it'll list all the exchanges, and then you can choose the chart. So that's a little more one-stop shopping in my mind. It's on crypto.com and some foreign exchanges. So it might be hard to find if you're in the US. If you're if you want to trade like this and you want to get on some foreign exchanges, email me and I'll share a workaround. It's a bit tedious, but it does work. You'll need a VPN and a digital ID. I'll help you with that. Anyway, let's look at this on crypto.com. That one's got nearly everything, but it's kind of expensive. So I don't trade on crypto.com very often. We're currently in a buy on the swing trade option. And that entry would have been right about here. And we're up 12%, 16% up to the red zone as a day trade. Go a little reverse order here. All right, the chat. Okay, Paul's in the Philippines and uses a VPN, so good. Then Eve asked, sorry, still a newbie, at what did the 1 hour RSI column reflect? Okay, so Eve is asking, why did I sort the 1 hour RSI? What's that? How is that useful? And the values, around below 30 or even up to 40, that's something that's gone down, has dipped already, and usually it's due for recovery. So that's why I like that sort. So, all right, I think we're caught up on the chat. And where was I? Okay, day trade on dogs. It's in the red zone now, so not a good entry. We would want this to dip. The last time it dipped below the 20 was over here. And it broke back up right about here. And we got a really nice recovery out of this. So yeah, we're up 13%. So on your spot trade, crossing up on the RTI 20, and you can go with either only once or once per bar close. So the Buddy coin crawler. And maybe choose a different alert. I use this one for my swing trade, so I'd choose a different one. And that would be good to go, but I don't trade meme coins, so I'm not setting up this alert on my chart. Any question on dogs as a day trade or swing trade? All right, well, any questions on anything I've talked about? Okay, I appreciate the participation. Made us go a little longer than usual, right about 50 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up here. If you're watching on the recording, I'd rather see you live, but check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks, CJ.
Thank you.